Hi ladies! Today we're going to talk about baking your makeup. And this is a makeup technique that I've seen on Instagram and on YouTube. So what it is when you have really heavy foundation and concealer on, and then you put a translucent powder on top of it. And what this does is it works with your skin's natural heat to melt your foundation and concealer into your skin. And the result is like a wrinkle-free, like really smooth highlighted area. And you apply the baking method to places that you want to be like really smooth. So I'd put it basically everywhere I highlight. So stay tuned and I'll show you how I bake my makeup. So I've already done my base, and one key thing for baking is you have to use a moisturizer and an eye cream, because this is a really heavy makeup look. It doesn't matter how expensive your concealer or powder is. If you don't have a really smooth and plump moisturized canvas, this look will not work because it will be a little bit cakey. So I've applied moisturizer, eye cream, primer, and then foundation. So you need to do these 4 steps before you come anywhere close to adding concealer. So let's get started. So to start off, I'm going to use concealer. This is 2 shades lighter than my skin. And I'm going to do like a little triangle. So, you know, if you look on Instagram, there are girls that do like these huge triangles. But I feel like that doesn't really fit my face because I have like enormous cheeks up here as it is, and a really small lower jaw. So I think I'm just gonna do a little triangle. So I'm just putting this on the places that I wanna highlight, places that I just want to look completely wrinkle-free and flawless. So I'm putting on the bridge of my nose, up on my temple, and a little bit underneath my chin. This is like normal highlighting places. And this is where I want the light to hit. And because it's gonna be like really smooth, I'm gonna try to look like a doll. Then I'm just going to take a beauty blender, and it's very moist, and just dab it in. Don't worry if it's not blended in because we're gonna put some powder on top of this anyway. So now for the baking process, I'm going to take a translucent loose powder. I'm using this ALIMA Pure Satin Finishing Powder. And this is the crazy part. I'm going to be using a damp beauty blender and dipping it into the loose powder. This is where the baking happens. So I'm just going to put it over top. Don't worry if it looks like really cakey because it's supposed to look like that. If you put too much on, that's fine because we're going to be using a brush to wipe it all off after. Now that we've applied a translucent powder, we have to wait for 5 minutes. And that's gonna let the skin warm up the concealer and foundation beneath the powder. So for 5 minutes, you can do the rest of your face, make some tea, check your phone, call your mom, feed your dog. So I'll see you guys in 5 minutes. Now it's been 5 minutes, and I'm just going to take a light powder brush and brush off all the excess. I've brushed off all the excess, so all my lines are kind of filled beneath here. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm just going to contour, and with baking, because there's so much makeup going on and it's so much brighter here, you have to contour. I'm just gonna take this contour and blush palette from Sleek, just using this one right here. I really like this brush because you can go from like really thick to very thin. So to contour the top of my head, as I mentioned in my last video, I have a light bulb shaped head. So I have to contour up here. And I don't tend to contour down here because the bottom of my face is already very small. So I don't really want to make that any thinner. But the top of my head, totally different story. Just going to contour my nose. So this precision powder brush, it seems like it was like made for baking because this actually fits perfectly right here. I'm going to be using this Urban Decay mattifying powder just to set the baking. You can say it's kind of like the icing sugar. This is a really nice powder. It's completely translucent. So I'm just using this powder to set everywhere that I've baked, just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. To finish the look, I'm going to add some color back into my cheeks. Doing my usual small creepy smile. So I'm just using this really pretty blush from the same contour palette, and I like it because it's like pink, but there's so many gold flecks in it. So this is the completed look. I really love doing this if I'm gonna take lots of selfies. It looks really good on Instagram, and as you can see, like here, like it's just a little bit more like wrinkle-free and smooth. So I'd love to know what you guys think of this look, and if you guys have tried it at home, please leave me a comment below. That's all for today. Don't forget to subscribe. See you guys next week. Bye.